Everyone, welcome back to a new video. As you can see, I'm still in the old studio, and after recording the last video, which was refactoring an old application of mine, a Linktree clone using AI tools, I got motivated to keep going, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. And I want to continue with something that I had in mind for a long time, which is building a game with the help of AI. That's exactly what we're trying to achieve in this video. Now, I've been experimenting with that in the past a couple of times already in the past few months. I tried to build something using plain JavaScript or HTML5 more or less and JavaScript. I've also tried to build something with using Godot, which is a kind of like equivalent to the Unreal Engine. That was not very successful because it's a very yeah, it's more of a more of a complex technology to work with than just JavaScript, which Claude is very familiar with. So I run in a lot of issues using Godot and Claude Code. It just got to a point where I couldn't continue anymore. It got too complex, too quick. So I decided to take a step back and take things or try things more easily with an easier approach. And I decided to try this project, what we're going to do now, with Phaser.js, which is a framework for creating games with JavaScript. And the reason why I choose Phaser is because that allows us to ultimately, if we get that far, I have no idea, it's entirely experimental. We will see how far we will get with that. But it would allow us to release a game on Steam, which I just set as the main objective for this tutorial to release a game on Steam that we have created using AI. Um, yeah, we cannot just release it with Phaser.js directly on Steam. We would need to build a Electron wrapper around it. But that's very far in the future. I just want to get started with using Claude Code to set up our terms, set up our project idea, what kind of game we want to create. I get into that in a second. And yeah, then we basically use Claude Code and as well, since it was released just yesterday, GPT 5.0. We will also try to play around with that a little bit in VS Code with the Copilot and agent mode. So we will see how the two will compare. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What we want to try. We get right into coding in a second. And yeah, then we will see how far we will get with this project. Maybe it gives you guys some ideas. Maybe we can troubleshoot it together on Twitch or something if we get stuck. It would be cool. It's just a fun little idea that I had, and I think we all can learn something from the outcome of that. All right, let's get started. Okay, so for this, I will take you through all of the steps from start to finish. So you will see my entire workflow, how I would approach a completely new project as a software engineer using AI tools. Um, with that being said, let's just get cracking. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a new directory inside of this YouTube directory that we call something that resembles the project idea, and probably we should talk about that first. So I thought about something very simple. If you are familiar with the game Vampire Survivors, it's a 2D top-down survival game where you play several characters that all have different kind of weapons, and you start with a particular character in the beginning, and then when you start the level, there are monsters who are automatically spawned on the edge of the screen, and they simply get or they walk towards you, and you kill them to survive. Once you're dead, and you can collect experience and you can level up. And when you level up, you can kind of upgrade your weapon systems, and you can increase your power. You can choose different weapons. You can combine two different weapons to have an ultimate weapon in the end, which is very powerful. And the ultimate goal of the game is basically to survive for 15 minutes. Then you have managed to beat the level. And I think that's a cool concept to play around with. It's very easy in terms of design. We just need simple tile maps, we need simple character models and stuff like this. And for a theme of the game, I already thought about that for quite a while, and I actually want to build something. If you know the game Broforce, that's also like a 2D side scroller game that is basically a satire or some or like a yeah, it's a homage on the old action movie heroes from the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, and they all have a abbreviated name because the game is called Broforce, so Rambo would be Rambro, and you get the idea. And I want to do something like this, but with video game heroes. So we would have like the guy from Doom or Sonic or Super Mario as our heroes, and the monsters that will attack us will basically be any kind of monsters of any game that you can imagine. So we will kind of do a video game hero survival game or something like that. So I would just simply call the game video game hero survivors. Yeah, let's call it that. And then I go into the folder, and from here I'm just gonna open up VS Code. Okay, now obviously we have a completely empty project folder. We have nothing initiated yet. And I was thinking about how we're gonna approach that, because usually when you do something like this, you would already have, let's say, a Next.js application or something. So Claude would already have something to work with. But now he actually has a entirely or completely empty folder here. So what I would do next before actually getting started right in the terminal is I would go ahead and open the Claude desktop app, which is included. I have the $20 Cloud Pro plan, so it's the cheapest plan available. Um, it's mostly sufficient for what I do at this moment. I sometimes run into limits. I'm not using Opus too much. You cannot even use it in Claude Code. You can, but however, you can use it in the desktop app, in the chat app, basically. And that's exactly what I want to do. It just came out as well. So I wanna that we first think about the project and the tech stack and everything inside of here, and then we let Opus to create our initial prompt for Claude Code to generate a Claude MD file, which basically outlines our project instructions, what we want to build, and so on and so forth. And then we can work with that plan, so to say, to start coding and start getting the game off the ground. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna exactly tell it what we want to do. So, hey there, always be nice to the AI. You never know how it's going to end up. Um, say, hey there, our plan is to create a game similar to the game Vampire Survivors. So a very simple 2D, what's it called, 2D drop-down style survival game, but with another theme. So our theme is video game hero survivors, and that is also the title of the game. I would say for now, let's just call it that so it can reference to it. Um, as for the heroes, think of the game Broforce, which uses abbreviations of action action film heroes. We need to make sure that we don't infringe on any copyright laws when using our heroes. So the names need to be abbreviated as well, and the character models need to look different enough to not infringe on anything, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's just what I came up with. Because if you make it too close to, let's say, Super Mario, you will have a letter from Nintendo in your postbox very quickly, I believe. So we need to make really sure that we stay satirical, um, and while still kind of resembling what we want to achieve. Um, so what do we have here? Okay, the names. Yep, that's what we all have already. Um, as for the tech stack, our ultimate goal is to release the game on Steam. To keep things, to keep things simple, we use Phaser.js as our technology and later wrap Electron around it for the release. Okay, so what else do we need? Um, I know that if we don't tell Claude to start very simple, it will get overmotivated and maybe create a initial prompt of like incredible amount of data that will take like a half an hour to an hour to complete and is very prone to error. So I want to tell it to start very, very simple, which means like a square arena, a dot as a player who has one weapon, who is shooting at monsters, and the goal is to survive for a minute. Um, and on top of that, we need to tell it to keep the code easily maintainable, which means for us that we can easily, let's say, change the spawn rate of monsters, changing a variable, or change the damage of weapons, change the movement speed very easily. So it needs to be very nicely organized. And like the more specific you are, the better the outcome will be. To start off, development. Development. We want to start very or start with a very basic uh, game loop that is just a square arena, one player that is also a square or a dot, one weapon that automatically shoots, and one type of monsters that automatically walk towards us. Always take vampire survivors as an example. And sorry for typing that out loud, but I kind of need to get that across how I would approach that. So I try to think about as many details as I can, and then I basically go from there and see what it comes up with, and then yeah, we just go along with that. Yeah, okay. Goal is to survive 1 minute, and the game is won. Always make sure to make all of the game variables very easily maintainable and keep concerns separated. Um, keep concerns separated. So, for example, if I want to change the player movement speed, I want to change the variable for that. Same with weapon damage and so on. Okay, I think that's enough. And now we need the initial prompt for Claude Code to create the Claude MD file. So we tell it that to start, I want you to create a comprehensive Claude MD file, not actually a Claude MD file. Uh, I don't know if we can create that without initiating the project first, but let's try. To start, I want you to create a comprehensive prompt to Claude Code to create a Claude MD file based on the project description above. Ask any questions if you need clarification. Okay, and that's, I think, pretty much everything I can think of right now. So I would just fire that off and get us going. Okay, it's directly asking us some clarifying questions, which is great. It's always great when it asks questions back if it's not clear about something. So it actually has a lot of questions here. First question is the project structure. Do you want a specific folder structure? For example, separating. Yes, I say yes. Yes, separate everything clearly. Second, hero examples. To ensure we're on the same page with the abbreviation style, are you thinking of heroes like, yeah, exactly. Sounds really good. First hero. Actually, we don't even need to go that far yet. Third one. Visual style. For the initial prototype with squares dot, should we still prepare the structure to easily swap in sprite or keep it purely geometric for now? Yes, you actually, yeah, why not? Yes, you can do that. Already prepare for easily swapping. Next one, weapon behavior. Should the basic weapon auto aim? Yes, auto aim. Yeah, I think auto aim is good for the first one. Enemy spawning. Random positions outside the arena edges. Yep. Random positions outside the arena edges. Okay. Configuration. Would you like all game parameters, player speed, weapon damage, in a single config file or organized into multiple files by category? I would say multiple files by category, since if the game gets more complex and we have that all in one file, it will be very complicated to find unless you name it really good. I'm not really sure what is the best approach here, but first thought is keeping things separated is a better idea. Development setup. Should the prompt include instructions for setting up development environment? Yes. Initially, the project folder is is completely empty, so everything needs to be set up from the ground. Good. Okay, let's hit it. It's not even thinking very long, it's just directly coming up, which is great. Um, we let that finish and then we continue. Okay, let's see what it came up with. Yeah, there we go. Create a game, project overview, create a game. Okay, I directly see that even we told it, it should create a Claude MD file. I think we did. Um, yeah, we said that, but it's not mentioned here really. So we have to specify that for sure. Anyway, initial setup requirements. And initialize npm project. So on place one here should be create a Claude MD file with all the project requirements, but whatever. We do that manually. We have a folder structure here. Index, scenes, entities, weapons, managers, config, utils, assets. Okay, this looks good. Core gameplay loop, square arena, boundaries. It already defined the pixels or the size of the play area, which is cool. Then we have a simple player, weapon system, WSD keys as walking around keys. It has health points already in the beginning. That's also cool and important. Okay, all looks good. Then we have the configuration system here with the player config.js with movement speed, max health, hitbox size. Very cool. Enemy config, weapon config. We need to split all this up later, obviously, when we have more characters and more enemies, but let's keep it simple to start with. Technical requirements, use phaser 3, that is in fact the latest version. Implement proper game states, really important as well. A FPS counter. Use ES6 models and modern JavaScript, also important. That's cool that it notes that. Um, okay, we have some UI elements, hero character plans for context, not to implement yet. Ah, interesting. Future heroes will be abbreviated versions like Mega Man, S Plumber, the Red Plumber. Blue Hedgehog. Cool. Okay, sounds good. Development notes make all numeric values easily configurable through the config files. Output requirement. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and copy all of that. And we just go. Let's open VS Code. We don't need the Copilot right now. And we should be inside of our empty project. Now, there is an extension for Claude Code in VS Code, which is called Claude Code for VS Code. Who would have thought? Which gets updates approximately 50 times per day at this moment. It's really interesting, but cool. And that's what you can use for that. So we are inside of a completely empty directory here. And here is the button to invoke Claude. First thing, it will probably ask you for permissions to execute. No, it didn't. Okay. Usually it does that. To execute commands in that folder. If it does, just click on yes, agree. And now we can basically go ahead and tell it what to do. Now I will prefix all of that with first create a Claude MD file to initiate the project using the following project plan slash description. And I just paste it in here, which will be pasted as a better readable format for Claude. And yeah, then we just hit it. And now it should go ahead and basically put all of that into its own Claude MD file. Uh, creating the Claude MD file to track this project. Okay, so it took that as a first step, and then it's actually directly starting to implement the things that we want. But that's okay, because now it has all the information in here. It's a little bit a condensed form, as we can see, but it has really it should have all the essentials in there. Um, if we don't use plan mode to plan something inside of Claude code, then it will always ask us for the first time it's running a command if it can edit something or if it can create folders. And then if you just select yes and you can do that by yourself in the future without asking me, you can choose to do that. So it's creating the package JSON that's basically telling it what kind of tag we are using. And now it wants to run npm install. And that's deleting. That's installing Phaser and all the other dependencies we need. And with the make dir command, first time it's gonna ask us, yeah, just go ahead and do it, and you can do it your own on the future. It's cool that it's like creating multiple directories inside of this like object. It's a nice syntax here. Haven't seen that before actually. Okay, and now it's generating the game configuration files and it's basically doing everything what we told it to do. So this might take a while. I leave that to run. Um, And once it's completed, we're gonna continue and we see if we got a working prototype of our game already after the first prompt. That would be really interesting. See you in a bit. Okay, it took around 5 minutes for this to complete. I had to confirm a couple more commands once, and it basically ran through all on its own, as you can see. So without to need to, I did not do anything like I did not test the game yet. I didn't run it. Um, Basically, this is the first time we're gonna hit it, and it gave us instructions on how to do that. So in this case, we would run npm run dev to get the dev server up, and let's see what it came up with. So I'm opening the terminal here, and I'm gonna run npm run dev to start the dev server, and then it should automatically, and it's opening in the browser. Drag that over, and we have a working prototype. We have a FPS counter. We see how many projectiles are on the screen at the time. We see how many enemies are on screen at the time. We have a health bar. There's a timer. We have a kill counter. Just wondering if we get too close to a mob, if we get or we lose some health. Of course, we don't have any logic in there yet to increase the spawn rate and stuff. That's all for later. But this was one prompt, one well thought out prompt, well planned prompt, to be frank, but it was a one shot and it came up with this. I'm actually pretty amazed by the outcome and that it didn't have any errors or anything. It actually built like it really built exactly what we wanted it to build. We have an enemy kill counter and we can press space to play again, and even that works. So the basic game loop is working. We don't have a main menu yet. We did not have anything yet, apart from this simple game loop, but this game loop is working. We could have a look theoretically now in the code, in terms of the configuration file. So I put the config in here, and we have the enemy config, and we should now be able to increase, for example, the spawn rate is 1000, so that's probably milliseconds. So one spawn, one enemy per second. And if we would, uh, we put that over here and this over here, so we can do it at the same time. And now if we would decrease the spawn rate to say 300 ms, they should spawn much faster. There we go. And now we should lose health. Yeah, we're losing health. You see it in the top left. It's not properly working. It's like it seems like, yeah, it's missing some collision, so we should lose much more health right now. But we're losing health and we're dead. So I think this is a pretty good working prototype for for one shot. And this is already getting a little bit more difficult with the increased spawn rate, and the mobs are really nicely tracing us. They don't have a collision yet, so they stack on top of each other, which is, of course, something we need to work on in the future. But we have something to work with. We did it with just one prompt, and I think this has potential to build up on that. Now, I don't want to do it like in the last video with the refactor. The video took more than an hour, and I think that's way too long. So I'm gonna split that up into multiple parts where we continuously develop. I probably will also throw another video about another topic in there at some point. But let's make this a multi-part thing because otherwise it would be a like 5 hour video and nobody wants to watch that long. So in this video, we achieve basically to get the project off the ground. We set the project plan, the very basic project plan, what we want to achieve ultimately, which is important. And we have a working prototype. So we have achieved pretty much in a very, very short time. It was less than an hour. In real time that I spent on doing this, I had the idea. I started to record, and that's what we achieved within 1 hour, which is absolutely insane if you think about that just a year ago or something, you had to do this all from scratch and write out the code all from scratch. So it would have taken much longer. Um, yeah, I think that's it for this video, guys. If you are curious how we continue, if we can get this game on Steam together, um, yeah, you have to subscribe to the channel and wait for the next video. That's just how it is. Leave a comment below what you think about that. If you have any questions, guys, drop them in the comments. I try to answer them as best as I can. A little background: before we stop, I'm a senior developer and I'm using AI pretty much every day in my day to day. So I have lots of things that I can share, and I think it's a very interesting time right now. Tools are getting released left and right every single day. New tools are coming out, new great technologies are coming out. We can leverage all of that to actually achieve and build something that we have in our head. Like we can bring ideas to life so easy nowadays if we know how to use those tools and how to use those tools efficiently and especially cost efficiently. And that's what you're going to learn on this channel in the future. It's a lot of fun to build things, and I think everybody can take something away from that. All right, guys. I hope to see you back in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up thing. We need to crack those 40,000 to get us back on track, and I will keep the videos coming. See you in the next one.